A son is promised. Then the Lord appeared to him by the terebinth trees of Mamre, as he was sitting in the tent door in the heat of the day. So he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them, and bowed himself to the ground, and said, My Lord, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass by your servant. Please let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Notice 3 men, my Lord. Okay?
It began with the forging of the great rings.
And I will bring a morsel of bread, that you may refresh your hearts. After that, you may pass by, inasmuch as you have come to your servant. And they said, Do as you have said. So Abraham hurried to the tent to Sarah and said, Quickly, make ready 3 measures of fine meal. Knead it and make cakes. Oh, if you hear something in the background, it's Lord of the Rings. I'm watching Lord of the Rings too. And Abraham ran to the herd, took a tender and good calf, gave it to a young man, and he hastened to prepare it. So he took butter and milk and the calf which he had prepared, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree as they ate. Then he said to him, Where is Sarah your wife? And he said, Here in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah your wife will have a son. Sarah was listening in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have grown old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child since I'm old? Hang on, I'm going to pause the movie. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, I like having the whole theater feel, when I watch a movie. So anyway, doobie-doobie-doo-boo. Where did I leave off? Here it is. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return to you, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. But Sarah denied it, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. And he said, No, but you did laugh. See, God knows. He hears. Okay? Then the men rose from there and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to send them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing? God thought, I'm close to Abraham. I'm going to tell him what's going on. Since Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I have known him, in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him. And the Lord said, Because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry against it that has come to me, and if not, I will know. Then the men turned away from there and went toward Sodom, but Abraham still stood before the Lord. And Abraham came near and said, Would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous that were in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing as this, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far be it from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And in our human understanding, we're going to be like that. We're going to go, hey, what's going on? So the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Can you imagine a city not even having 50 righteous people in there? Then Abraham answered and said, Indeed now, who am I but dust and ashes, have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord? Suppose there were 5 less than 50 righteous. Would you destroy all the city for lack of 5? So he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. Okay? The number's shrinking. And he spoke to him yet again and said, Suppose there should be 40 found there. So he said, I will not do it for the sake of 40. Then he said, Let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 should be found there. Now we're down to 30. 30 righteous people. Okay? So he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Okay? And he said, Indeed now, I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 should be found there. So he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. Then he said, Let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak but once more. Suppose 10. 10 righteous people, okay, should be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. So the Lord went his way as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. So that's how the story ends. All right, the Lord went on his way as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. Okay, so, and at this point, they're not going into the sin of Sodom. They're just saying their sin is grave. Okay, there's a lot of sins that are grave. A lot of sins that are grave. Okay, you might think, oh, this sin is just a little dinky sin. It's not that important. Well, look what the little leads to. Say, okay, for example, I'll give you my life. Thou shalt not covet. Okay? Be happy with what you have and who you have around you. Okay? My first boyfriend, his name was Sean. And when we met, okay, we're just friends at this point, but we met in youth group. Okay? And he had a girlfriend. I asked him all the time. I'd say, so how's you and your girlfriend doing? I didn't ask him because I was concerned with how him and his girlfriend are doing. Here's the dastardly part. I asked him because I thought, I'm waiting for the minute when he says, oh, we're broke up. So I can make my move and say, hey, I like you. And I can have my chance. That was coveting. Because I wanted him. And God was like, all right, you want what you want. And guess what? It really wasn't what I wanted. Because the minute he broke up with his girlfriend and I started dating him, he was not a good boyfriend. We only went on a handful of dates the year we were together. We went to the fair one time and he ditched me. And my daddykins, I call my daddy my daddykins. My daddykins, he met up with me and was like, hey, what's going on? Because he happened to be at the fair too, because he wanted to go. And so I was like, well, this would happen. He just kind of ditched me to go look at a car. So I'm stupid. And yeah, he was really pissed. He was ready to pop his head off, spit down his throat, kick him in the rear. All the stuff that you daddies can imagine if somebody treated your daughter that way. Okay? And so, my kiddos. So, I ended up having more fun with my dad. And, he just wasn't good. And he strung me along, cheated on me. Long story short, we broke up. And I found out, now I know why God says don't covet. Be happy with what you got. Because what you think you want, it's not always that good. And I know somebody that wanted greener pastures on the other side. And when she got those greener pastures, turns out it's not. Because she's having problems in her relationship too. So, greener pastures, if you can't water the pasture that you have, okay? What makes you think this other pasture, when you go over there, is going to be luscious and green? The reason the pastures are luscious and green is because they've been watered. So that's that. So, and just think about, what your place is. It says Abraham went back to his place. Now, a lot of people say, okay, he went back to his house. Okay. But at the same time, you have to remember your place. Remember, you're not God. Okay? You didn't create yourself. He created you. And he bought you with a price, which we'll get into later. But, you got to remember your place. Before I became a Christian, it was hard for me to remember my place. And when I became a Christian, I don't remember my place like, oh, you better submit and listen. Like, well, you should. Let's just say you should. But, it came to a place in my heart where I wanted to listen. I wanted to submit. Because when you submit unto God, there's going to be things in your life that happen. I'm not saying your life is going to be rosy, because it's not. It's going to be far from that. Because let's just face it, life is far from rosy. Sometimes it is rosy. Okay, there's a lot of rosy points in life. But there's a lot that are not and really rocky. So, my life is so much different in a good way. Because I know I have God walking with me in every situation that I'm in. Okay? Before my mom got cancer, I had a dream of a black door. And black in dreams symbolize death. And I thought that God was telling me I was going to die. And I only told this to my husband. And so I started reading scripture on heaven to prepare myself secretly. And then my mom got cancer. And I'm not going to say anything in case she sees this about the length of time that she has, because she doesn't want to know. But it's not a long length. So, things are not always going to be rosy. But God always puts people in my life that are there for me and encourage me. When we were in the hospital, we went to visit her yesterday, and we came out, and there was this little old lady in a wheelchair, and my hubby helped her get her stuff into her car and stuff like that, and she was so sweet, and she was just like, I'm going to pray for you, and God is always there. And she was telling us some stuff that went on in her life, and she's had some really rough situations in her life. But God has always been there with her during those hard times. And God is always with me during those hard times. And He's always with you during those hard times. You may not always see it and realize it. You might think, where are you, God? But He is there. More than you know. More than you just got to open up your eyes and see that He's there. That's why Jesus says a lot of times they have eyes but they don't see, ears but they don't hear. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees because it's right in front of your face. And then when you step back a minute, you go, oh, I see all these situations where God has been here in this situation, that situation, that situation, that situation. So, just remember that He's there with you even when it doesn't feel like it. He's there. Just open your eyes and look. It won't take you too far to look that He's there. Especially in the bad times, He's there. When things are going good, how often do you say, hey God, how you doing? But man, when that road starts getting rocky and they start getting an earthquake going, you're going, God, knock on the door, hey, help me out. So, all of a sudden it's ringy dingy. Hey God, can I talk to you? You know, when things are smooth, it's like, how often do you pick up that phone? Probably not very often. When things start getting rocky, ooh, hey, how you doing? You know, 911, 911. So, anyway, but that's that situation. So, I just pray that you guys just pay attention today in the small situations, big situations, whatever's going on in your life. I don't know. You could be having a great life. You could be having the sucky ass life ever. Okay? I don't know. But know that God is walking with you in that moment. Okay? Okay. I love you all. I'm praying for you all. You know, I hope you guys never ever have to go through a family member having cancer. It's really rough. You know, it's really depressing. It really is. But, and you have your moments of crying. My hubby held me yesterday for 30 minutes and just let me cry. So, you know, I'm very lucky I got a good hubby that does that, you know, and some people don't have a good hubby that's like that, and I'm sorry, you know, and I pray that your hubby wakes up and becomes the man that you need. So, anyway, I love all you YouTubers and Facebookers out there, okay? So, thank you for being patient, waiting for my next video, and all that stuff, and just, enjoy your day, okay? All right.